Your man in Japan, jcontra here, and I'm coming at you from the Surugaya Specialty Store. This is their retro center here in Akihabara on a side street. It's a lot more cramped than I remember it from a couple of years ago. We've got a whole bunch of strategy guides looking at us over there. But I'm going to show you guys the showcase of what is a relative newcomer to the Akihabara scene. I think this place only opened a couple of years ago, and what it does is it will source video games, all these old video games from basically everywhere in Japan. What people will do is they will ship in their old video games, have them appraised, and then Surugaya will then take those games and put them in their stores all across Japan. They have a bunch in the center of Japan near Osaka and Kobe. I think they have one. Yes, they also have one. You may remember my video from their branch out in Kitakyushu. I am here at their Akihabara store, which opened, yeah, again, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. They have some, wow, they got some very expensive PlayStation 2 games. We're now in the era of expensive PS2 games, and oh boy, is that just sad for everyone. But I guess we'll start with a game that's actually quite tempting. They have Castlevania. This was the third of the Game Boy Advance series put out by Sega. And I can't remember what the English name of it is. This is the Castlevania Akatsuki no Menuetto. I can't remember. God, was it Harmony of Dissonance? Perhaps that was. That's going for $120. This is, once again, look at the prices. Make sure you include the tax. Man, Castlevania's, I remember seeing that for $60 once, and I didn't buy it. And that's probably the biggest retro gaming mistake that I have made here in Japan. Here we've got a copy of Summer Carnival 92 Rekka. This is an amazing shooter. I keep praising it all the time, and it's also one of the most expensive games you can buy for the Famicom. It's going for $1,700, complete in box. We've got some cool Game Boy games. A lot of Game Boy games have been skyrocketing up in price. Then there's Gimmick, which is held steady at about $700 for a complete copy. And we've got, wow, a lot of cool loose PC Engine Who cards over there. I hope you can see it past the glare of the case. I'll also show off a bit of the spines of the Famicom games here. We've got, I think one of those is DuckTales. That's going for about $75. Let me see if I can see any of the other ones there. We've got the original Castlevania. That was the cartridge version that came out in Japan, because in Japan they had the disc version. So the cartridge version came out late in the system's life cycle, and that's going for $360. I think I was lucky to find a cart for $100, although I bet the price of all that Famicom stuff is going to start going down. And then here we've got a game from the Gaikoku. It's Sega Arcade Gallery, which for some reason is going for $170. Japanese people don't tend to collect American or foreign games, but when they do, they will spend a lot of money on what are probably to Americans very basic games, but to Japanese collectors it can be very hard to find some of those games, and sometimes even it's worth buying it here over eBay, just because with eBay you're taking a lot of risks from the buyer. There's Ren Ranger R2, once again the rarest Super Nintendo game, going for, wow, $1,150 for just the cartridge. Then we've got Final Fight Tough, going for the frankly absurd $150. I think I was able to buy a copy for about $80 out in Fukuoka, but that's out in the provinces, not here in the capital of Japan. So if you want to get that cartridge of Castlevania, that's going to set you back $180. Oh my god. And then there's, oh man, there's Super Mario, which is this insane, I don't want to say it's a ROM hack. I think it's an original game that I'm pretty sure is very inappropriate and should not be seen by children. I don't even know if there's a ROM, if the ROM has been dumped. But this is this weird, like, unlicensed Mario game that I think does have some very naughty things inside of it, and that's going for $3,800 for this, I guess you could say, boxed copy. And then there's this loose one that's going for $2,700. And then there's Metal Storm, which I would recommend Metal Storm. That's going for $150, although I think you can probably find that cheaper elsewhere. Let's move around a bit. That's the showcase. Nothing really startling except for that Super Mario stuff. But otherwise, everything. I've heard some people say that Surugaya tends to set the set the standard for pricing in Japan. The only problem is that a lot of this stuff isn't really graded based on condition, and it's a lot of stuff that just kind of comes in from all over the country, so you're never really sure what the condition of stuff is going to be. And I guess we can test it out. Here's Fire Emblem Gaiden, which was recently remade as Fire Emblem Echoes for the 3DS. Is going for $10 for a complete copy. And then here is Fire Emblem, the original one, which I showed off in the Mandarake video, but this one is going for about $14. So that's not bad. You can, if you just do not care about the quality of the stuff you're buying, if you couldn't tell the difference between one copy versus another, this could be the place for you to pick up some games, because this is definitely, I think, on average the cheaper place, but you're gonna get stuff that's lower quality. And man, I remember when Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door, this used to be like a $45 game in Japan. Now it's gone down to $28 for the Japanese version. Oh my. Oh, here's Animal Crossing. Brings me back to high school. I think I really want to get into the Dreamcast. And why not? Let's just talk about the GameCube in Japan, because the GameCube in Japan, really, the N64 has not really taken off, and the GameCube has not really taken off. I don't know if we're still waiting for that wave of collectors to come in, because the GameCube, we're not quite at that nostalgia point yet. We're just starting to hit it with the Dreamcast, and maybe one of these days we'll hit it with the GameCube. But if you want to start collecting Japanese GameCube games, now is the time, because there are so many of these games out there that the only expensive GameCube games I can think of are Kirby's Air Ride, which someone decided was going to be I think about a $70 game, and then there's Baten Kaitos 2, which we'll see if we find it. I'll try and look for it while I show off all these other games. Baten Kaitos 2, I think, became a $100 game, but that's really the extent of the expensive games that you'll find on the Japanese GameCube. There you go. Pokemon Coliseum, $8. I don't see any Baten Kaitoses, actually. Here's a jump fighting game. I'm assuming that's a fighting game. Yeah, it's a fighting game. That's going for $10. The GameCube games aren't super cheap. Like, you're not finding games for like $1 or anything. But I think on average, you're just not going to find super expensive games, which is very cool if you're going for a complete set. Like, I hope I will one of these days. Even the Twin Snakes, this once again was, this was probably like a $50 game a few years ago. Now it's going for $25. That's pretty cool, and that's a cool remake. Lupin the Third. Oh, and then there's a game I cannot recommend enough. Here is Pikmin. Wow, apparently it's got some scratches on the disc. But Pikmin for $7.50 for $7. That's insane. That's real good. That's a good price, although if you want to take your risk with that disc. And then $20 for Pikmin 2. I actually haven't played Pikmin 2 yet. I have it, but I really want to get around to playing it because I loved Pikmin 1. And then here's, this is what they called it in Japan. They called it Luigi Mansion. They did not call it Luigi's Mansion. They called it Luigi Mansion. And that'll set you back $20. Anything? I'm trying to see. Well, they got Metroid Prime. How much is Metroid Prime going for? $18. Okay. Okay, I cannot see. Yeah, I don't see Kirby's Air Ride, though. This would be an interesting price check if they had Kirby's Air Ride. I just don't see it. Yeah, they got the remake. The interesting thing about the remake of Resident Evil was that in Japan for the GameCube, it's in English. It just has Japanese subtitles, and obviously all the menus are in Japanese. But that's just something to look out for if you're wanting to collect Resident Evil games. Which, more power to you. Those games will mostly be cheap. Although you do find an expensive Resident Evil game every once in a while, like Biohazard 2 for the Japanese N64 is, I think, going for like sometimes $100 if it's in the box. See anything cool? Oh, here's oh wow, Mickey's Magical, what is this, hold on, Magical Tetris Challenge featuring Mickey. I actually don't know if I have that. Probably got it laying around somewhere. Any cool N64 games to mention? I don't think so. Well, there is the weird Sonic Wings Assault, which is like, Sonic Wings was a really cool top-down, vertically scrolling shooter that came out for the PlayStation, the Neo Geo, and the Sega Saturn. And then they came out with this like weird 3D version for the N64, and I just don't get it. This copy's going for $25. And here is my favorite game of all time, and apparently no one really seems to want it that much because it's only going for $35. And that's actually, this box is in really good condition. This version should also come with the expansion pack, which you'll need if you want to play that game. Let's move on. Here's some, it's really tight. All of these games are packed in real tight. Now, we just showed the Super Nintendo games, the boxed copies. Here you can find a bunch of loose copies. And here's Mega Man X2. Yeah, it's got some damage to it. It's got a lot of writing on it, but it's going for about $16. Anything exciting up front? Wow. Just talking about foreign games, here we go. A Thomas the Tank Engine Super Nintendo game going for $35. There you can see a Top Gear game it's going for $20. And if you think sports games are cheap in America, well, if you want to play Madden 94, it's going to be $15. And Madden 95, hold on. Madden 95 is going for $9. Wheel of Fortune, $10. Wow, I am fascinated by, I would love to ask them how they price their foreign games, because you just see, if we can pass by the boxes, I would love to show you, but I found some boxed, oh, actually, no, I can show you right now. I remember where it is now. I can just get over there. I found some boxed American N64 games. If you want to play Bio Freaks, complete in box, here it is for $35. Like, what? And I wonder, did they like go onto like Yahoo Auctions, which is like Japan's eBay, or do they go to like do they go to eBay and check the international price? Here, Wield the Power of Mace, $75. That is astounding. So those are your import games. We've also got a bunch of Vita games. At the time of this recording, the Vita was recently announced to have stopped all production on cartridge games for the Vita. This sad day. Oh, and here's a SCART cable. The Super Famicom outputs, I believe the Super Nintendo does as well, it outputs RGB natively, and if you want to hook that up to a SCART system, this cable can be yours for $35, which is a lot nicer than the $150 plus that the component cables for the what I think the GameCube cost. It's getting a bit dark. I hope you can see everything. Think about when you get that. I think because we've got all these cool, are these Mark III games, or these? Yeah, I'm gonna say yeah. These are Mark III games. We got a lot of cool shooters. We got, let's see, Astro Warrior, $40. My apologies if I'm focusing on shooters too much. I think I'm really trying to get into shooters as of late. And so that's kind of been my focus. If you'd like me to, if you have any requests, make sure to leave me a comment, and I'll make sure to try and find some games that you're looking for. Oh, wow, and a Game Gear copy of Mortal Kombat 2. Wow, that takes me back. I remember I was indeed, showing my age, I was in fact alive when Mortal Kombat 2 first came out. Boy, was that a time to be alive. And here we got, a Saturn Collection, $69. A very nice price for Metal Black, although, if it's not the original copy, but that's fine. We got anything else? Oh, wow, some American, I believe these are American Dreamcast. Oh, no, never mind. That's very Japanese right there. I thought these would have been American copies of this game, because I didn't think really Japan would have wanted to play, I didn't think Japan wanted to play American basketball. Here's Skeleton Warriors. It's going for about $35 if you want the American copy. Then let's look at all of the cool top-tier Saturn games. Sexy Parodius, $55. I remember when that used to be a $30 game. Here's Darius 2, $48. Let's see, we already looked at Metal Black. I think, nope, that's an original copy. That's not, they've got 3 copies of Metal Black, but they're all the best collection or whatever. And then here's Thunder Force 5 going for $70. And here's a collection of Capcom shooters. Yeah, a lot of classic Capcom shooters. That's really cool. Let's see, what else do we have? Wow, I don't know. I don't know why this is $40. I actually have no idea what this is. And then someone's probably going to tell me that's like a $3,000 game. Why didn't you buy it? You fool. And here's what I'm guessing is a Probably an adventure game. Oh yeah. Oh no, that's not. Please don't ban me, YouTube. It's art. It's art. I swear. And here's Salamander. And Outrun going for $30, $35. Let's see. Oh, here's another Capcom Generations game. This is the 4th collection. It's going for $30. I can't really tell what games are on it. Oh, it's a bunch of games, a lot of stuff that I'm not really familiar with. Power Drift, $50 for Power Drift. I feel like I have this sense of deja vu seeing that game again. Bubble Symphony. Oh look, it's Bubble Bobble. Going for $50. Oh, Strikers 1945 2. This is tempting. There's some damage on the disc. It's got a couple scratches on it, but I love Strikers 1945. It's a fantastic game. And I'm sure Strikers 45 2 is also great. Looks like Chuck Bronson or something over there on the left. That's weird. And here's Donpachi. Old, reliable Donpachi going for $45. Let's go to Sonic. Oh, Sonic 3D Flicky's Island. This is $65. Sonic 3D. I've actually never played Sonic 3D. That's really a game I gotta get to. And then for some reason, Street Fighter Alpha 2 is $80. Like, I know Street Fighter Alpha 3 is very expensive and very sought after. Street Fighter Alpha 3 can easily go for, you know, like $300 plus here in Japan. But man, I did not realize Street Fighter 2 is that sought after. Oh, and then man, this is a cool, looks like some Share Zone skeleton on there. That's real cool. Oh, Henry Explorers, wow. I kind of just want to buy that out of some morbid curiosity. Then who's got another probably adventure game I want to say. We've got a Capcom anime game. That's quite something. Let's see. There's also, wow, they have a lot. That is a lot of Xbox 360 games. I've never seen this many Xbox 360 games in the same place. But it's a lot of games that I have to admit I don't really care about. Like, I mean, I hear the Ghostbusters game. Hold on. I hear the Ghostbusters game is supposed to be good, I guess. There's also a bunch of Xbox One games that I also could not tell you about. No, let's just see how much. Need for Speed Rivals, wow, $10 that quickly. FIFA 15, $10. All right, okay, that's all we need to know about the Xbox 360. If I'm gonna be honest. Let's see. Oh, why is this in a? Hold on. What is? Oh, it's a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. $80, $83 for a JoJo game. Anything exciting? Do we have any cool action games we can talk about? Yeah, we've been talking about shooting games for the Dreamcast. Let's see if we can find a cool action game. But I don't know much about the Dreamcast, so I mean, here's a Hudson action game, I guess. I can't tell what kind of game it's supposed to be. Oh, here's Crazy Taxi 2. That's cool. I'd love to play Crazy Taxi 2. I love the first one. I think Crazy Taxi 2 is going for like $9. And here's Zombie Revenge at $18. Space Griffin, $7. Made by Panther Software. And oh wow, Rez. Rez isn't it like being re-released in VR? You can get the original version for $60. It's not bad. Not bad at all. Oh, and then here's the Capcom Shooter. I think this is how much was this at Trader? I think it was maybe $70. I'd say, if you're gonna buy games, buy them from Trader, but this also isn't that. They've got some good prices here. Wow, $100 for this. I think you could buy this for like $10 on the original Xbox. Wow, almost $100 for this anime shooter. Oh my goodness. Then let's. Oh, here's Gigawing 2. I thought we could maybe, if they had Gunbird 2, we could end it on that, because Gunbird is a really good shooter. And I could also recommend Gunbird 2 for $60. I don't think this came out for anything else, but don't quote me on that. It may very well have come out for the PS2. But for now, we're going to end it here. This has been the Surugaya Specialty Store at the Akihabara branch. This has been the wall of Dreamcast and Sega Saturn games. I've been your man in Japan, jcontra, saying thanks for watching, see you next time, and mahalo.